Hi Virgo, this is your reading for September 2019. It is for anyone who identifies with the sign of Virgo at this time in September 2019, or whenever the messages may find you, whenever you may find them. Meaning that you may be a Virgo sun, moon, rising, Venus, or any other kind of Virgo. Maybe it's your Mars sign, or maybe you just felt particularly led here by the title or happen chance. The Knight of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy, and the King of Fire, King of Wands, Sag, Aries, Leo energy wanted to show through. We'll see if either of those resurface for us, Virgo. To those of you who are Virgo sun signs, I do hope you are enjoying your birthday season. Thank you so much for all of your support to Lunartics Tarot, for liking this video, for sharing, commenting, subscribing to the channel if you have not. Thank you for tipping and donating. And for those of you who are interested in ordering a personal reading from me, my name is Aze, and all the information and links that you would need can be found down below in the description box. As it is your birthday season, Virgos, we should draw two readings for you today. Seven of Air, Seven of Swords showing up for you, Virgos. That may help just a little bit there. And the Three of Swords, the Three of Air. So many of you are stealing some time for yourself currently as you are healing from a recent disappointment, a recent heartbreak even for a lot of you Virgos. You are healing at long last. It may have had to do, as I said at the beginning, with an Aries, Sag, or a Leo in particular, or just someone who was a very intense personality that you felt very passionate about. Someone in command of the room, so to speak, someone influential. I am Aries. For a lot of you, Aries, and Aries was unable to juggle you and someone else. You have been just sick over the situation and unable to speak a necessary truth to them, or they simply weren't able to speak a necessary truth to you. Yeah, so for a lot of you, this Seven of Air energy is showing up because someone had you in a three-party situation. Someone was sneaking around. The root of the situation is this Four of Fire. So even if that was the case, it looks like you were happy with this individual initially. Prior to this, in the root of the situation, you all were a happy partnership. You had a happy home, a stable, secure, peaceful home even. So Aries and Leo have both come through strongly here for you. You are about to see how this truth of this disappointing communication, this heartbreaking communication, even this truth about a three-party situation specifically for some of you, you're about to see how it is truly enlightening, how it is actually a breakthrough for you, how the things and the people falling out of your life now are actually just leaving truth behind, showing you that the foundation had cracks in it to begin with, that it wasn't meant to be to begin with. It wasn't really for you, or at least it wasn't for you any longer. You're advised to really look at that truth, see that truth, own that truth, and make cuts in your life where it is necessary, Virgo. With the Queen of Air, the Queen of Swords coming through in your advice position. So this is all about something that truly is a burden for you, Virgos. It's the end of a spiritual journey, the end of a cycle, and it is a burden. It is not easy to carry this load at this time, Virgos. Likely because you felt like this was a divine partnership, a divine match for you. You thought you could be the king or queen of fire to match this masculine or feminine fire energy that we see in your reading. Perhaps your intuition is telling you that that is the type of king or queen that you will identify with or as. And we all have all of the 12 zodiac signs in our chart somewhere. We all have all of the fire signs, water signs, air signs, earth signs in our chart somewhere. So you might identify with Virgo for any reason, and you might identify with this fiery king and queen for any reason here in the reading. Maybe you specifically have Sag, Aries, Leo located somewhere significant in your chart, or it rules a house of yours that's particularly significant to you at this time. But also, this also just speaks of a masculine and feminine energy who, again, are very bold, very courageous, very passionate, very intense, very influential, very sociable, right? So we're talking again either about the energy that you are embodying, have been trying to embody, or someone that you're dealing with close to you. Now, this is not specifically a love reading, Virgos. This is a general message to allow whatever needs to come through at this time. But I do think we will do a love reading, a second reading that is specifically geared towards your love life, since it is your birthday season, right? As a happy birthday present to you. But it looks like for a lot of you, we're already talking about your love life now. So on second thought, maybe what we will do is since this general reading wants to talk about your love life, then the second message we'll just call the second message additional messages, so that a second time whatever wants to come through can come through. But back to the reading in front of us. It looks like in the recent past you either have been dealing with a Leo specifically, or you have been indulging in showing yourself unconditional love, Virgos, which is beautiful. It could also be speaking to the fact that everything was fine between you and this person in Leo season, so just last month, just in the last couple of weeks even, right? But you certainly were in a state, Virgos, where you were showing yourself unconditional love, mind, body, and spirit. And it seems like you were in the perfect environment to do so. A happy, stable, comfortable, peaceful home and or family life in the root of the situation. Unconditional love in the recent past. And now the need to get away from it all. The need to steal some time for yourself. Or the need the need to see and recognize that someone else has been fooling you, has been dishonest with you, has been sneaking around behind your back and involving you, a lot of you unwillingly, in a three-party situation here. If it's not a three-party situation, then there's definitely a painful, disappointing communication, perhaps because it is a miss or missed communication. And even beyond disappointing for a lot of you, it has been heartbreaking concerning this fire sign, this Aries, Sag, or Leo energy. Now, that could be just, as I said, a part of your own chart. But in any case, in the near future, you are headed towards this breakthrough. That truth that is being revealed, the healing the truth that is being revealed through this healing that you are going through, the reason that you may need to be stealing some time for yourself independently, right? The truth that's being revealed there through that healing, through that three-party situation coming to light, possibly that painful communication coming to light. It is a bolt of enlightenment. It helps you to evolve, it helps you to grow, it helps you to realize that, again, your structure was cracked in the foundation to begin with. And so that which you had built for yourself or have been building for yourself is not truly meant for you, or again, not meant for you any longer. You're feeling defensive in your inner world. You're feeling like you have to stand up for what you love, what you believe in, what you have in your life, what you feel you deserve. You do have 2 7s showing up, so an additional message might be found through you exploring that number and the messages it carries, 77. In your outer world, though, we do see some confusion, some indulgence in escapism, and this need in your advice area, as I said, to see the truth and allow that truth to cut away any energies in your life that aren't supporting you, which is so much easier said than done. But it's a matter of choosing your own health in your own life and supporting yourself or not. And ultimately, in order to make those decisions, those cuts, and see those truths, you are headed toward this 4 of Swords, 4 of air energy and space here. A time of solemn contemplation and meditation, where you are advised to suss out who is being honest with you. And with this as your advice card, it's like it's saying you can see the truth. You do know the truth. It's just a matter of you allowing yourself to see it and making the necessary cuts as a consequence of it, right? Now, if you are completely unaware of this situation, then I do feel like the cards are trying to say that, yes, someone is being sneaky around you. This isn't always as negative as it has come off sounding in this reading. It just means that someone's energy is being sneaky. It's very likely, actually, that it is your own energy, Virgo, as it is showing up in the spot of the querent. But this is the energy that's covering you. So if it's not you, then it's someone whose energy is enveloping yours. You're so obsessed with, or so just completely taken in by the situation, that really their energy is one with yours at this point, because you are so consumed by what is going on with this other person. But it is likely that it's resulting in a really disappointing 3-party situation for some. And so if you are completely unaware of it, then there can be a message here for you that there's someone sneaking around and putting you into a 3-party situation that you don't know about. Now, that message very rarely comes through on this table with my cards in my practice, so I'm not going to hesitate to share it with you when it's just blatant and evident. But nonetheless, we are headed toward this bolt of enlightenment, that truth being revealed, whether it is you who's sneaking around or them in the near future. As you move through September, we're going to see that truth come to light. It's going to shake that foundation, to show you where the cracks are in this relationship, this partnership, whether it's romantic or not. And it may break apart a home here, but again, that foundation was already cracked, and that truth was not meant for you. That which you were building for yourself or had built for yourself really was not yours. And when I say that ultimately you're going to move into a space of solemn contemplation and meditation, this is also a space of gratitude, where you're going to show a lot of gratitude for that which will have seen you through this situation, this bolt of enlightenment, shaking up your foundation and changing the energies that are in your life. You're going to be very grateful for that, because it leaves you with what is only truly yours, what is only authentic of you, for you, what is only truly meant for you. You're going to see what really is, not what you want to see, not what's comfortable, not what has been, no validation for things, but just the reality of what really is yours, meant for you, what is really comfortable for you, who in your life is truly good for you, what and who is meant for you, right? But if you're dealing with someone else who has involved you in the situation, if someone else has been sneaking around and is breaking your heart and through this bolt of enlightenment, yes, and it is a breakthrough, but it is still a break nonetheless. It is still a breaking of your heart. Know that there are actually 3 7s here on the table: 7 of fire, here in your inner world, 7 of water in the outer world, and 7 of air here covering you. So with 3 sevens, it's as if the divine is guiding you, the divine is with you, sending this message, is helping you through this situation. So they will bear some of the weight of this pain for you. And they're here revolving around this reading, this message, and this occurrence in your life to tell you that it is meant to be. This seemingly horrific happening for some of you is meant to be. It's meant to shake away the things that are just sort of like not just sort of dead weight on you and on your life, because they are not meant for you. It's like dead skin needing to fall off. Truly, I know that sounds so callous, and so I hate to deliver the message that way, but that is what it is. And this other person that you've been dealing with, I also think that it's really relevant here for you to know that they've just been confused. They've had a lot of choices, a lot of potential paths, a lot of potential partners, maybe, if that's the case. They've just had a lot of options, and it's been very, very confusing for them. And so they have needed to, some of them, turn to escapism, or this is you and this is how you're being seen. Perhaps someone else is involving you in this situation because of your own tendency to indulge in escapism, to escape into any habit of yours, television, drugs, alcohol, partying in general, sugar. They may be pulling away from you because in some sense you had pulled away from them already, so you can see how the message is slightly different for everyone, for each Virgo. But for others, it's them. They are overindulging in one of those ways of escapism: drugs, alcohol, TV, partying, sugar, etc. And it has accelerated and encouraged and really emphasized and heightened their own confusion and the confusion amidst different paths that they have to choose from, right? So know that the divine is with you. The divine is instigating or allowing this occurrence to happen to shake away the dead weight, the dead skin, to leave you with only what is true for you, who you are, who you want to be, what you really have to rely on, Virgo. What do you really have to rely on? This other person or whatever energies are leaving your life now as a result of this heartbreaking miscommunication, disappointing communication, heartbreaking three-party situation, whatever it is that's breaking your home apart or your family apart, it was meant to happen that way so that you could see what was truly there for you, what you could truly lean on and rely on. And for a lot of you, what you're finding is it's you. It's you that you have to rely on, your senses, your knowledge, and you do see the truth. You do know the truth. Allow yourself to rely on that. That's really your advice. Allow yourself to rely on that truth that you see, that you know here. And if that means, and for a lot of you it will, cutting people out of your life who have been sneaking around, who have not been faithful, who have not been honest, who have you've had painful miscommunications with, who have been involving someone else in a personal situation without your consent, right? For a lot of you, it will mean cutting that person away, even though I do see that, yeah, you may have felt like divine partners. Maybe you were or are a soul match, a soul mate, a twin flame type of relationship, perhaps. There's certainly a lot of passion between the two of you, a lot to be attracted to, and a lot for other people to be attracted to. And one, if not both of you, certainly have the tendency to flit about like a flame and see worth and attraction in many different potential partners. It doesn't mean that fiery energies are always treating each other that way or treating relationships that way, but it does speak to a tendency that type of personality has, right? So many of you are dealing with a person like that, and that's why in your outer world we see so much confusion. You've been dealing with someone who's been confused through between many different paths. And again, this is all just leading you to a space of after you realize that you can't move away from the situation, you can't ignore it, you can't simply move out of the situation, you can only move through it. Deal with this heartbreak or this disappointment through looking directly at it and moving through the pain, not just simply away from it. You will be grateful. You will be grateful for this truth having been revealed to you, for the fact that it has revealed more of yourself to you, and for the people who you really can rely on, or if no one else, simply your own senses that you've been able to rely on. You will ultimately be very grateful for that. Don't forget to ultimately show gratitude for that. Once you're past this battle, once you're past this happening, you're past this bolt of enlightenment, shaking things away that aren't meant for you, don't forget then to show gratitude just for your ability to have seen that truth, have owned that truth, have acted upon that truth and cut those people out. It may be very painful, and you may need lots of time and solemn contemplation and meditation, but do not forget in that space to be grateful for the fact that it happened, that the truth was revealed, that your eyes and your brain were able to see and to know and to own, right? And for the gift it has given you. Now you are living more authentically. So that's a space for you to not listen to other people's opinions, others' influences, not your family, not your friends, no one, but your own intuitive knowing and seeing. And then to remember to be grateful that it happened, to be grateful that anyone was there to see you through it, even if that was just yourselves, Virgo, even if that was just your own senses. Showing gratitude for them in this type of a time will remind you to rely on them and utilize them and lean on them later when it is just as important again, or even more important later on. So I hope the needed insight was able to reach you there, Virgos. We are going to do a second reading for you and just call it additional messages, as I said. See what else would like to come through for Virgos at this time. We'll do a Celtic Cross again, using the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck again. And we see this stable, comfortable, happy, peaceful home and or family life showing up for you a second time, reminding us that that's what everything was rooted in your first general reading. I've shuffled the cards quite a bit since then, and I'm continuing to, as you see. I will break and split when it feels right. I do see that in the additional messages, we see some worry, some fear, some anxiety, some doubt, maybe even some sleepless nights for some of you. A lot of you are coming out of this. You're freeing yourself from limiting beliefs. You're certainly in need of it if you have not already at this point. And there's the Eight of Swords wanting to show for us again. I'm going to let it fall out a third time if it really wants to, Virgo. Not surprised to see the Seven of Fire here. This is in your inner world in the first reading, in the general. We talked about you internally feeling the need to stand up for what you love, what you believe in, certain parts of yourself even. So, as I said, there has been some worry, doubt, fear, sleepless nights, some anxiety, Virgo, possibly surrounding this Aries, Sag, or Leo energy that was showing up so much in your general reading. There have been some mental battles as a result, and ultimately, in the near future, you're headed toward this place of judgment, where there are consequences for what has gone down between you and someone else. With it showing up in the upright, likely for a lot of you, what we see is an absolution, a forgiveness of self and others, and an absolution of what has been going on between you and someone else. You have felt like you needed to defend yourself. Someone has felt smug in the recent past, feeling like they had won this battle, this fight, or they may have just been mental battles in your own mind internally between you and you, Virgo. With 2 5s showing on the table, 55 may be an additional message for you, may hold an additional message for you, just as 777 did in the first general reading. It certainly speaks to the fact that it is a time of significant change, probably a challenging change. You feel like you're going through a loss, and you really need to stand up for and rally in the name of what you feel most passionately about, what inspires you most at this time, Virgos. I feel like that was probably the same message that came up in your new moon reading, as we just had that new moon in Virgo reading. This is all leading you toward expedited progress, fast movement in what you feel most passionately about, and taking the second step forward in what you feel most passionately about. Once you reach this state of solemn contemplation, meditation, and gratitude that we talked about you finding in the first general reading, Virgos, once you find that place, that's where you find your expedited progress regarding whatever it is you feel most passionate about. You are advised here to follow, to stand up for, to defend that which you believe in most passionately, that which inspires you most. Ask yourself that question. What inspires you most? What do you feel inspired to do? What inspiration of yours currently that is guiding you and driving you feels like it has been handed to you from the divine, feels like it is a piece of inspiration that has been granted to you and given to you by something greater than yourself, something from the beyond, something that you can believe in, something that you can chase, something that sets you on fire. What do you feel most inspired by? What do you feel most passionately about? This can be a literal birth of a human being into the world, yes, but this can also be you birthing a creative or spiritual project of yours into the world. And I do see that you feel like you need to stand up for that, to defend that, at a time when you've been going through a loss and suffering a lot of the anxieties and mental battles associated with loss. At your core, when your ego is quiet, you know that that is where this anxiety and fear and doubt comes from, truly. Whoops. Just stopped our music. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Just trying to turn it down a little bit for us. Okay. You know that that's because you've been experiencing a loss. Any anxieties, fears, worries, doubts, sleepless nights, any mental battles, verbal arguments with other people, or mental internal battles within your own mind, you know that it's all because of some loss you're experiencing. And the cards are saying you really have to fight to keep that which inspires you, that which the divine has handed to you as a burst of inspiration, that which really is a fire and a passion for you outside of whatever you feel like you've lost lately. You have to fight and defend in order to keep that thing alive, keep that inspiration a real part of your reality. And whether or not you truly stand up for what else you feel so passionate about in your life is going to show here in the near future with the Judgment card. There will be consequences if you don't defend that which you feel most passionately about, that which inspires you most, and there will be an absolution and a forgiveness of self and others if you do. It guides you forward. It may only seem like a silver lining in your situation right now, that since you've had certain losses and certain things have fallen away and out of your life, you now have some free time to focus on some other inspirations and passions of yours. But silver linings often lead the way, and whether or not you fight for and defend those inspirations and passions, you're going to see the effects of that, the results of that in the near future, the consequences or the absolution associated with your choice there, if you follow. And where you're headed, if you can stay on this path here, is a place of taking a second step. You've already taken a first step in the direction of, in the name of this passion, this inspiration, but obviously the second step has to be taken as well. You know, the first step that you've taken is you've decided what you want to do. You've decided where you want to head, right? But you're going to be in the space of just sort of waiting for your ships to come in, quote unquote, waiting for something else outside of yourself, greater than you, to aid you and to steer you, when really the divine has already offered you a burst of inspiration. What more do you want the divine to do? You move forward with that inspiration, or you don't. You know, it's certainly not going to scoop you up, pick you up, and carry you the whole way down the river, right? This is you taking the second step, whereas the first step was, yes, you've decided which direction you want to go. The second step is showing initiative and making a ship come in, building a ship to take you out if one doesn't come in, right? Just taking the second step, whatever that means, whatever spiritual or creative project it is that you're working on. It will also get you out of this anxiety, fear, worry. It will also make peace of this stressful place of mental battle where you're seeking verbal arguments or just battling with yourself in your own mind. It's a place of really accepting that things are changing in your life. If you begin to follow your inspirations and your passions, it's a sign to the multiverse really that you are accepting that it's a time of significant change, even if that feels challenging for you and you're ready to move forward, right? But again, with the Judgment card in the near future, we see that there will be either consequences or absolutions, depending on what choice you make, what you choose to do with this seed you've been given from the divine. It is a gift, this verse of inspiration. This seed, do you want to water it, or do you want to just set it aside and do something else with your life and your time and your energy? It's been offered to you for a reason, that's for sure. And it not only does something for everyone else, but it frees you of these prisons, these mental prisons that you've created for yourself around some loss you feel that you're experiencing. So that is your second reading, your additional messages. It's all about expediting your progress in the areas of that which you feel most passionate about. The areas of your life that you feel most passionate about, Virgos. Again, don't forget it comes after solemn meditation, contemplation, and gratitude that we saw in the first reading. And this is a message of passion. It is a message of what you feel most passionate about. It's a message of standing on your own for a lot of you, standing alone after some sort of a split from a partner, a contract, a lover, etc. So I hope that the needed insight was able to reach you here. I hope that it helped. I hope that you will continue to make wise choices for yourselves that move you forward. I love you, Virgos, and I will post another reading for you as soon as I can. Please continue to enjoy September 2019, enjoy Virgo season 2019, and that energy of the new moon in Virgo that continues to linger with us at this time.